Hi, this is my final exam based on the country of Honduras for cross-cultural communication with Dr. Hildreth by me, Gideon Owens. To begin, we're going to talk about Honduras and give some quick background. Honduras is a country in Central America. It borders Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Guatemala. Honduras is a Hispanic country, meaning that they speak Spanish as their primary language. It's a capitalistic democracy who's led by a president. The country's led by a president elected every 4 years, and they also have a Congress and a Supreme Court, and they are governed by a constitution. Now, Honduras' economy is mainly agricultural. 80% of the people living in Honduras live and work in the more rural areas and different kinds of farming. Now, in an effort to not have this presentation be boring, I've included some pictures from my past travels to Honduras. Um, First up, horse in the field in a mountainous area. Horses are a big part of the more rural agricultural towns and villages. And actually, in the higher you get up in the mountains, some places are only really traversable on either foot or horseback. So, this is just a picture I snapped one time of one of such horses just grazing in the field and resting. Continuing with who Hondurans are and what Honduras is as a country, the main professed religion in Honduras is the Roman Catholic Church. Though it's important to point out that the people of Honduras, it's mostly a nominal belief in the Roman Catholic tradition, passed down throughout the family. It's not actually a devout religious belief. And because of this, actually, there's a large entrance recently of Protestantism and other systems of belief. Um, Within Honduras, there's a strong emphasis on the traditional family unit, one father, one mother, along with the children. And men are expected to work traditional jobs, in a factory and the farms, and women are expected to be homemakers in most all cases. Another picture here of the mountains as we were driving along. As you can see, they go on for quite a while, and there's a lot of mountains in the more southern regions of Honduras, and people live all over them, all up and down them, and that's where a lot of people make their living and build their homes. So to begin with cross-cultural communication and those aspects, we'll talk about barriers. So just as a reminder, barriers are things in a culture that are beliefs or interests or concerns that make it more difficult for someone to hear and receive the gospel. The first barrier we're going to talk about is that nominal Roman Catholic Church belief. So a lot of people, when you talk to them about Christianity or the gospel, will potentially misunderstand you. It'll be hard to get a conversation with them directly. You'll say, "Hey, are you a believer? Have you heard of Jesus, Christian?" And they will, or they say they will, but in fact, it's just a cultural understanding that they have gained from their family or from participation in the church nominally. And so there is a little bit more to overcome and a little bit more to be direct and specific about when reaching people for the gospel in Honduras, because you have to circumnavigate this Roman Catholic Church belief to present the true gospel to them. Moving on, witchcraft. So there's only a very small percentage of indigenous people who live in Honduras, but they do practice witchcraft. It is there in the country, although in very small numbers, especially in the poorer areas. So much so that some people, let's say they have a sick child, they'll go and have them prayed over at the church, and then right afterwards go take it to a witch doctor or a shaman or something, some practitioner of witchcraft in the area, to also get them looked over by them, so they'll get both of the best of both worlds in their mind. As well as another barrier, past missionary efforts. There have been past missionary efforts by all kinds of different denominations, etc., that have really not gone the best, and there are repercussions and echoes of that even in like the current churches there that want to not do the things those past missionary efforts messed up on, and people who were on the receiving end of those missionary efforts that didn't go well. So when you say you're a missionary or you're there to spread the gospel, some of them will automatically have a negative response because of some of those issues. Here's another picture inside of a leather shop. There's a lot of livestock and such that goes along with the agricultural economy of Honduras, especially cow products, leather. So this shop makes belts, boots, wallets, all kinds of stuff out of leather that they get there. And it's all handmade. It's a really cool shop to visit and to check out. So some bridges. Bridges again are an aspect of a given culture or religion or myth in the culture that can have a positive influence on the person, so that they can have a positive influence in the culture. So these are things that help us with the gospel. So actually, even though the Roman Catholic Church and its influence can be a barrier, in some instances it can actually be a bridge. So we have a common understanding of Jesus, a common understanding of the Bible, and this understanding of the belief system that the Roman Catholic Church enforces upon its people. Actually, when you talk to them, sometimes you'll be able to have an inroad into their life and community because you're talking about things that they already have an idea about. They already know a little bit about it. Um, and so that can help you with getting the gospel to them because you have to explain less in some instances. Here's a picture of one of the mountain towns. Here we got a guy driving a truck with some wood and scrap up one of these dirt roads up higher up into the mountains, probably where he lives. Here's just a picture of one of the more rural areas. Finally, we got the 3D gospel. So how I would integrate the 3D gospel into my gospel presentation is I truly believe that a lot of Latin countries have a honor shame dynamic, which can be kind of strange to say. But my argumentation for that is that they are extremely group oriented. They have strong community ties. There's an essence of collectivism. So for that, I will appeal to the original shame of Adam through sin, the effect it had on us, and God's plan to restore human honor and community, and that Jesus bore that shame to restore humanity, and apply and really lean into that idea of strong community and a community outlook for gospel presentation. Here's my works concited. Thank you for listening and have a pleasant day.